Hi, this is Malik, and today I will tell you a point where I had a communication error with one of my colleagues, and what actually happened and how I played my part to resolve the issue. So, since I've mentioned in my resume that I work as a geologist for ground technologies in Sydney, Prestons, so one of my key responsibilities, my daily task is to ensure when I start my shift, I work at night shift. So when I take over from the day shift, paperwork from the day shift, so my task is to ensure that I count the soil samples on the lab floor, and I make sure that all of the samples are moistured and the moisture content for all of the samples is taken properly. So one day what happened is when I was a bit late for work. I started about 5:15 p.m. and my colleague from the day shift, he was waiting for me, and he had to end his shift. So I was in a rush, so I started filling in my forms. And what happened actually is that he pointed out to some soil samples on the floor, and he said that all these samples need to be moisture. So since I was filling out my form, I didn't really pay attention to the samples he was pointing out to. So this caused miscommunication between us, but I didn't realize it at that time. At the time I was about to finish my shift about 1:50 p.m. because I finished my shift at 2 a.m. sorry. So when I was about to finish my shift at 1:50 a.m. roundabout, so I realized that there are about 15 to 20 soil samples on the floor that weren't moistured. So I immediately realized that, oh, these were the samples that he was mentioning to take samples of moisture from, but I have taken moistures from different samples that weren't supposed to be moistured. So the situation was the samples that were urgently required to be moistured by the company, they weren't moistured, and I didn't I realized that I made a mistake. And so the task was that all those samples had to be moistured that day, and there were only 10 minutes left in my shift. So what I did, I requested my one of the colleagues from night shift to stay with me, and we took samples for all of those. We took moisture for all of those samples. It took us about hour and a half. So I stayed back. I took help from my one of my colleagues. We both stayed back, and we did our work, and we completed all the moistures before leaving, and it resulted in that yeah, the samples that had to be moistured, they were moist. The moisture was recorded for them, because in our work the moisture cannot be delayed, so it really affects the quality of the testing. So I would say that I pretty much resolved the situation by staying back, requesting my colleague to help me with the task. And and I even learned a lesson for future, that we need to pay attention to some minor details as well in certain situations, that otherwise might cause some serious problems. Thank you.